Hi everyone, I'm back with another video. In this one, we'll be making this very basic tee slash crop top. You can make it the long version, which is this one, or a more cropped version. It's included in the pattern. This is the Baby Bloomsbury pattern by Little Lizard Keen. I will have a link to that in the description, as well as some pictures of what this looks like on. I do have a 2-year-old daughter that occasionally models for me, so I will try to include that as well. It's very simple to make, and let's get started. The Bloomsbury pattern does have a few different options. So for this one, we're going to do a sleeved bodice. This is what this page should look like. It just says Baby Bloomsbury sleeve bodice with simple hem, front and back. So this is your pattern piece, and all we need is our sleeve. Now the neckband that I'm going to be using is actually in the cut chart. They do binding, but I like doing neckbands, so all I did was take their measurement for the binding in the cut chart of the pattern and take off 1 inch, and that should be perfect for our neckband. So here are the pieces. There's that one, our 2 sleeves, and our front and back piece. Now I did end up cutting this on the simple hem cut line. There is a crop also cut line, but for this I wanted it a little longer. So it is still the same steps if you want a crop top, but I just wanted to point out that this is more of a midi top if you've seen those. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is lay our pieces right sides together. All that means is that you're going to see the right side of the fabric and place it with the other right side of the fabric. So whatever sides you want facing out when all is said and done. Sorry, my hair is getting in the way. And next, all we're going to do is sew the shoulders here and here. And this calls for a half seam allowance, so I am going to go to my serger and do that step. Here we are at my serger. This is the Brother 1034D. And I just wanted to do a quick tidbit on seam allowance. So seam allowance is how far in we're going to sew, and this model actually has these little tick marks right here, so I know that the second tick mark is my half seam allowance. So when you go to sew, all you want to do is line it up right at that line, just like that, and just continue as normal. You do want to have your knife on to cut off the excess. So there's that part done. I just did the shoulders at my half seam allowance. Next, we're going to open it up and do our sleeves. My sleeves are like this, and I want to grab them with the right side of the fabric facing out. And I'm just going to fold them in half like that with the wrong sides of the fabric touching. And next, we're going to place it right at the seam, so right at that shoulder seam, like this, and I'm going to add a little clip. There's my clip. All I did was clip it to one side of the fabric, and I'm going to do the other side. Same thing with your sleeve. You just want to open it up, make sure the wrong sides are touching, and then you want to put it on top of the fabric and make sure that the curve is opposite of the curve, like this. So they're going to be touching the inside of the neck. And then I'm going to put my clip right there. And then when you go to sew, you're going to open it up and start at one end. And then all you're going to do is guide it. So it's okay if you stretch it a little tiny bit. It's called easing. So you just want to ease your fabric in. You don't want to overly stretch it though, because you'll get some little puckers. But you just want to evenly distribute it as you're sewing. Once you're done, it should look like this, and I actually forgot to point out that my sleeves are a little shorter than what the pattern calls for, and that's just because I was running a little short on fabric, so I just had to do that little piece a little shorter. So now what we're going to do is put our fabrics right sides together again, and this time we are going to sew all the way down the sides of the bodice, or the body, and then up the sleeve. So you just want to make sure that everything lines up. I do like to start from the bottom and work my way up to the sleeve, but you can do the opposite way as well. So again, with our half seam allowance. So you also want to make sure that you're going to line up these seams right here. So you have your two little shoulder seams, or I guess they're the armpit seams. For the sleeve is what I mean. And you just want to make sure that you line them up. And again, go at that half seam allowance mark. And once I get closer to it, I just kind of like pinch it down just to make sure that they are going to match up. So now we're going to do the neckband next. So I already have it folded right sides together, and all I'm going to do is stitch right here. You could even do a trick where you have it folded like this and then you fold it over again and stitch right there, but either way it'll work for the next step. So I went ahead and sewed it, and all I'm going to do is bring it out. So if you did this method, it's pretty easy because all you want to do is have this little tube-like thing, this little circular neckband, if you will. That's what it is, duh. Okay, anyways. So now what I want to do is I'm going to choose which side I want to be the front. So because I use this floral and both sides are the same, I can decide which one I want. I do like this one for the front. So I'm going to get the piece that I want in the front facing me. And then I'm going to get my clips. For neckbands, you really want to quarter it. So what that means is we're going to divide it into 4 equal parts. That's what quartering is. So what I like to do is place my clips. Wait, let me zoom in here actually. I like to place my clips right in the center of the neckband. And then our shoulder seams will be the other points. So now we have 4 points like this. And next we're going to quarter our neck piece. So I like to, this is one side, so that's one piece already. And then we have our other quarter piece. And then because we already have these 2 middle spots, I'm already going to attach it. So again, whichever side you want to be the back, clip it to the back. So I'm going to clip it there. I'm going to match up these clips in the front. And your neckband is going to go inside. So just take one clip off and match it. So now we have 2 clips. And then what I just like to do is hold the 2 clips together and then stretch the neckband. Hopefully you can see that. Stretch the neckband because it is a little smaller, which is good. We want our neckband smaller. Stretch it to meet the armpit, or I mean the shoulder seam. I don't know why I keep mixing those 2 up, but you know what I mean. You're seeing it. Okay. There. And then same thing, get our clips together, so our 2 middle. And then stretch the neckband to meet the other shoulder seam. I did accidentally nick it right here, but that's okay. Now I'm going to go to my Serger, and for neckbands, I like a 3/8 seam allowance. 3/8 seam allowance. So that's what I'm going to go do, and I am going to cut it off, and I'll be back. Okay, so for neckbands, whether you're using a sewing machine or a serger, I like to start in the back. So I'm just going to line everything up and start. Again, I want to do a 3/8 seam allowance, so that's this first tick right here. And then you just take off your clips, but you really want to make sure that you're stretching the neckband only. So how we stretch the neckband to meet the rest of the neck hole, that's what we're going to do. So you see how it's a little smaller. All I'm going to do is stretch it the tiniest bit just so that it meets up with the rest of our top. Sorry, I'm struggling here, but I think you know what I mean. You just stretch the top, and then so now I'm almost all the way around. So what I'm going to do is just line it up again with my 3/8 seam allowance and just keep going up until around a 1/2 inch past the starting point. And once I see everything is cut off, I like to turn off my knife and then keep going for about another inch. And then I like to use the hand wheel to put my needles down I put my presser foot up. Sorry for all the glares. And then I push it towards the back. So just push everything towards the back. Put the presser foot back down. So the presser foot is back down. And then just serge off. And you can finish your tail however you like. So this is what we have, and this is what the neckband looks like. I'm pretty happy with it. So next, all that's left to do is to hem the sleeves, both sleeves, and hem the bottom of the shirt. Now I'm going to use my cover stitch for this, but you can use any other method that you're comfortable with. I did make a cover stitch video on my channel. If you don't know what a cover stitch is and you're curious, I go over all the basics for it there. Okay, here it is all hemmed. For anyone that's curious on the cover stitch, I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like hemmed. All you do is fold it and hem it, and I'm going to turn it right side out and show you what it looks like all done. So there's what the hemming looks like on the outside, and it's pretty much done. That's sorry, I feel like everyone knows that I can't talk. Okay, so this is it. It's really cute. I can't wait to try it on my daughter. I actually made some matching bummies for it, so I think a top and bummies is pretty much an essential outfit for us right now. So there's that. That's it for me. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned some tips. If you're a beginner and you want me to do more steps, like more in depth to what I'm doing, I can do that as well for some of my next videos. But hopefully, even for a beginner, everybody got the steps down. So that's it for me, and I hope you all have a great day.